Hi everyone, I'm Jen. I wanted to share another which stands for Happy Unexplainable Happenings. And I wanted to share with you how I found out what my angel's name is. I actually went to a class to find out, and I thought that the head of the class was going to tell us each of our angels' names, but instead she taught us how to find out. And just as a background for those of you who do not know, I did not grow up with any religion or any spirituality. I did not even know that I was living in this body. I thought I was my body. So until at age 31, I experienced my own unexplainables. I would not have believed anything coming out of my mouth. That's coming out of my mouth now either. So, but I just share what I experience. So, anyhow, the lady, she taught us in 3 steps: set the intention, give a due date, and ask for validation. So, number 1, she talked about clearing a space, just basically to focus on your intention. So, for me to focus, lighting a candle while sitting at a table with some sage burning or incense sounds woo-woo-ish. I would not have done this before my before any of this either. It's just I found out that that is my best way to focus. You can do whatever. You can look at your left pinky toenail to focus. It doesn't matter, it's just the intention. So my attention on the intention was to ask for my angel's name. So I did. And then number 2, I asked to find out what it was by the end of the month. And number 3, the teacher had asked for, had given examples for validation to ask for the sounds of a bell or something. She gave other examples, but I asked for validation to see a deer. So I asked for a deer, but then immediately said, no, I changed my mind. I changed it to a bell, the validation of a bell, because I drove through country roads on the way to work at the time, and I did not want to see a dead deer. So there's not going to be an animal to die for me just to see this. So, okay, so I let it go and, was going to wait just for it to happen, by the end of the month. So separate story. Or so I thought, separate story. I went to a restaurant, met a server, and this person's name is Leslie. And I felt really connected to them. I could feel their pain. We talked a little bit, and we went our separate ways. But I learned, I wrote, I learned their name and wrote a poem that night. So the next day in carpool, as I was driving, I showed the poem that I wrote about Leslie to my carpool person I carpooled with. And the poem started with each letter of the name Leslie. And I don't know, I just write because that's what I do, how I get my feelings and thoughts across. So as my carpool friend was reading that, she was almost done, and then I swerve the car and scream because there's a dead deer on the road. Now, I did not scream because of the dead deer being on the road. I screamed because, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Am I really finding out my angel's name? And I immediately said, nope. In my head, I'm like, nope, that's a dead deer. I asked for a bell, remember? And so my friend finished reading the poem, and she said, why'd you swerve? And I said, because there was a dead deer on the road. So she looked at me, and she's like, well, that's the poem. And, Leslie. And then, and then the radio, which was playing softly, did ding. And and she's just looking at me, and I know what was going on, but I just kept both hands on the wheel and looking straight ahead, ignoring the fact that I just heard a bell. And so my carpooler then goes, Jen, this is it. This is the name of your angel. And that's when I scream, not scream, but whine basically. But I don't like the name Leslie, which is so rude on my part. But I wanted a name that I was familiar with from TV, like, Clarence. And as soon as I said that, the radio then goes bing, bing, bing. So, anyhow, my angel's name is Leslie, and I just wanted to share my experience with you. So, let me know what your experience is. I would love to hear about it. Love you.